Former President Jacob Zuma is no stranger to the country's courthouses. His first encounter with the lower courts was in 2005, where he appeared at the Durban Magistrates Court in connection with the arms deal case. The matter went through various courts for 5 years before charges were dropped. During that time, Zuma also faced rape charges. He was accused of raping family friend Kwezi at his Johannesburg home. In 2006, he pleaded not guilty and was cleared of all charges. From his early run-ins with the law, Zuma was always supported by crowds outside the courthouses. In 2016, after fervent attempts by the opposition and others to get the arms deal corruption charges reinstated, the North Gauteng High Court set aside the decision to discontinue Zuma's prosecution. And 2 years later, the National Prosecuting Authority announced that 16 charges were being reinstated against Zuma, involving 783 alleged incidents of racketeering, corruption, money laundering and fraud.
The consideration of the matter, I am of the view that there are reasonable prospects of a successful prosecution of Mr. Zuma on the charges listed in the indictment served on Mr. Zuma prior to the termination of the matter by Mshe SC. As a result, Mr. Zuma's representations are unsuccessful.
Despite a bid for a permanent stay of prosecution, Zuma's corruption case continued. In May 2021, he pleaded not guilty to all charges and applied to have the prosecutor removed from the case. But this was not his only court battle. In 2016, the Constitutional Court found Zuma had failed to uphold the Constitution and was ordered to pay back the money for upgrades to his Nkandla homestead. This judgment came after 2 years after the public protector had found that the then president needed to pay for non-security upgrades to his private home. Further legal woes began in September 2018 when the State Capture Commission requested his response to testimony. The commission was probing allegations of state capture during Zuma's 9-year presidency. He was scheduled to appear on November 16th to 20th, 2020. On the 19th of November, Zuma left the inquiry without permission when Chair Raymond Zondo dismissed his recusal application. The commission then laid a complaint with law enforcement agencies. A summons was sent to Zuma, subpoenaing him to appear before the commission. Zuma snubbed this, saying he was being victimized, leading the chair to approach the Constitutional Court to order him to attend. The Apex Court instructed that Zuma was obligated to appear and could not remain silent.
Mr. Jacob Zuma is ordered to obey all summonses and directives lawfully issued by the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into allegations of state capture, corruption, and fraud in the public sector, including organs of state.
Zuma once again refused to present himself. On the 29th of June, then acting Deputy Chief Justice Sisi Kempepe found Zuma guilty of contempt of court and sentenced him to 15 months imprisonment. Zuma then approached the Pietermaritzburg High Court to stay his arrest. However, on that fateful evening in July last year, he handed himself over to correctional services less than an hour before the police's deadline to arrest him. Zuma was incarcerated at the Escort Correctional Services in KwaZulu-Natal and released on medical parole 2 months into his sentence. But his legal battles are far from over. Judge Elias Matajane found in the Gauteng High Court that the former National Commissioner of Correctional Services, Arthur Fraser's decision to release Zuma was unlawful. Zuma and the Department of Correctional Services are appealing this ruling. The former president's also trying to delay his day in court on his corruption charges. Last year, he made an application for a permanent stay of prosecution at the Supreme Court of Appeal, which failed in October. He then petitioned the Concourt, but withdrew the appeal in April this year, paving the way for the case, which has already seen multiple postponements to proceed. Hasina Gori, SABC News, Johannesburg.